Erev Tov Chavrim. I'm Stephen Ben-Nun, and you're watching Israeli News Live. Palestinians took to the streets all over the world today in protest of Israelis living in the land of Israel, having their own state, quite frankly. The Israeli independence, in fact, Israel in 1948, when they declared their independence through the war and took the land, or at least part of the land that was given to them by the British Mandate. But in reality, what we call today Palestinians are really nothing more than the Jordanians. The Jordanians were also given a mandate by the British, part of the land of Jordan, or what we call today the land of Jordan, where they were supposed to be able to live. But the British had also mandated a large section of land for the Israeli people, much bigger than what we see today. In 1948, the Israeli people, the Jewish people living in the state of Israel, back then before it became a state, went to war to fight for what was supposed to be theirs. They did not win everything. In fact, what is known today as the West Bank was lost during that war. Even Jerusalem was not won, and it went to the Jordanians, which they annexed this land in 1954. But really, they had no right to annex it. The land did belong to Israel in the first place. So this is the reason why, though, Palestinians, or so-called Palestinians, really Jordanians, are taking to the street. They're protesting, as for them, it is a day that is not so good, because they say that they went into refugee camps and things of that all throughout the land of Israel. So they are definitely in protest, and we were there in Berlin to actually see exactly that protest. We were told that there were supposed to be some Israelis or Jewish people there that would be counter-protesting this, as you see on the screen and behind you, and this is the Palestinians as they're getting ready to do their march, and there were a small number of Jewish people that showed up. Now the sad thing is, if you look closely at the photograph there are, and I think in this one photograph here, there are two gay pride flags as well. Mixed in amongst the Israeli flags there. And it was really kind of startling to me to see that who was really coming to support Israel in this defense against the Palestinian move to cry out against the Jewish people, to denounce Israel as a nation. But it was, yes, there were some Jews, but it was quite a number of gay people, supposedly, I guess, Jewish as well. And in fact, this photograph here, "We Stand with Israel." These two ladies here that have their back to the camera, that was another thing that kind of surprised me. We were here to cover for this protest here, but we being in favor of Israel because we are Jewish by birth as well. So we were there to show an unbiased presentation, at least, well, maybe not unbiased in the fact that we know that it doesn't belong to the Palestinian people, Israel that is, but we were there to show both sides of the protest. But instead, these women who were facing the camera when I first got ready to take the photograph turned their backs to the camera. And that really just kind of bothered me. I thought, if you're going to stand for Israel, be proud enough to show your face on camera that you're standing for Israel. In fact, when we did our own broadcast there, right there in the streets, even in amongst the Palestinian people that were there protesting against Israel, we were proudly announcing we are Israeli News Live, standing here making this coverage. There was no shame whatsoever. But then again, as you can see here with the gay pride flags being all over the place around those that are standing for Israel, maybe there was a reason to be ashamed. Maybe to be ashamed to see with them, to be seen with them there. Anyway, let me take you to the broadcast where we were there live. By the way, the police presence was very heavy, but let's take you to the broadcast there that we did while we were in Berlin earlier today. and this is really a great source of tension today here in Berlin. Of course, these type protests are all over the world. Last week, there was a major... Anyway, we thank you for being able to come and be a part of what we wanted to share with you there. Didn't know exactly what was going down in Berlin ourselves. We knew that last week there had been some very serious rioting in Berlin where the Germans were there protesting Muslims being in the land of Germany to begin with. The Arabs that are there, the refugees and stuff, things of this nature here, the Germans last week had protested in such a violent manner to where it ended up being around 400 arrests. So once we had heard that there was another protest, more than likely that was going to happen this particular weekend, we wanted to be there ourselves and see what was going on. But next, our next stop is Israel. We'll be headed to Israel here very soon, covering a lot of different things going on in Israel, even getting up to the border there in Syria to see the conflict that's been going on, the continued support by Russia for Bashar al-Assad, the Israelis as they are protecting their northern border from Hamas and the insurgents there, and just to see what Prime Minister Netanyahu is really against. Don't forget us. When we get ready to make this trip here, we do need your support. That's what makes these type broadcasts possible. And we do apologize the rush we've had here trying to get back and get this up for you this evening. This coming week is going to be a very interesting week, more in-depth broadcast.